Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are continuing our series of cooperative board games and we are looking at Forbidden Island by Game Right. This game is for 2 to 4 players. It is for ages 10 plus and it takes about 30 minutes to play. The box of this game is beautiful. It is a tin box and I like how the details on the box, and it's kind of you can't say 3D, but it's kind of popped up a little bit, and it is a beautiful box and very high quality box. And I have put the lid upside down, but this is the back of it. Now let's go ahead and open the box and see what's inside. Alright guys, let's open up the box, and I've already opened up the tin because it was hard for me to do it over the camera, which was weird. And then the first thing we have is this booklet by Game Right, and this shows you all the games that they publish and sell. It might be old and some might be already discontinued, like I think his is discontinued, but this works out really well if you are looking for more Game Right games. And then this is like a suggestion sheet that they have in most of their games. Then the first thing we have is the rule book right here, and then we have the water meter. This is the water meter, and this is the water level marker right here. So it comes off, and then you can just put it in, and then you can slide up and down depending on how the game is going. Next up, we look at the cards, and there are 6 adventurer cards. So 1 2, so yeah, oh yeah, 3 4 5 and 6. So these 6 adventurous card, if you're playing a full 4-player game, you will still have 2 extras left. So these are the 6 adventurer cards. So next up we have these 58 cards that we are going to play with. The first one with the blue back are called the flood cards, and there are 24 of them, and they have all these places that are mentioned on the tiles, which we are going to look up next right here. So these are the flood cards. And then the next up are these treasure cards, which are 28 treasure cards, and out of which 5 for each treasure. So like there are 4 different treasures. So this is these are the 4 different treasures right here. So 5 of each of those. Then there are 3 water rise cards, which increases the level of the water on the water meter. And there are 2 sandbag cards right here, and then one more card we are looking for is this helicopter lift card. So there are 3 helicopter lift cards and then 2 sandbag cards. So those are the 28 treasure cards and 24 of the flood cards right here. And I love the quality of these cards. They are pretty thick and good quality. Then we have 24 double-sided island tiles. So on this side it is covered in water, and on this side it is above water. So there are 24 tiles right here, and these match the flood cards right here, which I'm showing you guys upside down. Okay, so which matches the flood cards. Okay, so all these stuff are the tiles, the 24 tiles, right? Next up we have 6 wooden pawns right here in 6 different colors, and these colors match the adventurers. So if you are a navigator, you play the yellow. If you are the explorer, you play the green, so on and so forth. Last thing we have are the 4 treasure figurines, and the first one we have is the crystal of fire, and I hope it focuses well. Then the next one we have is the earth stone. The next one we have is the chalice, the ocean's chalice. And then the last one we have in the box is the statue of the wind. And I like the statue of the wind. The lion looks amazing. So those are the 4 different treasures that we are going to look for, and that's what we have. The goal of the game is to find these 4 treasures and then lift off from the helicopter and fly away before the island sinks completely in water. So those are the treasures. So now let's go ahead and see how to set up the game, and then from there we will see how to play the game. Okay, let's look at how to set up the game. So first we will create the Forbidden Island. For that you will shuffle all these tiles and then place them face up, which is the colored side up. On with the first you will put a 4 by 4 grid in the middle, and then you will place 2 tiles on each of the middle 2 rows. So 2 here, 2 here, 2 down here, and 2 up there. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. And I know there's too much shadow because I'm doing it at night and I don't have a white light at the moment. But let's move on. The next thing is you are going to take the 4 figurines right here and then place them in the corner. And then if you look at this tile, it has the figurine of the earth, right? And if you land on this and you have 4 of the same card of the earth figurine or the earth treasure of the earth, then you can discard those 4 cards, and then when you are here you can discard those 4 cards, and then you can earn or win or find the treasure for yourself for that kind. So when you land on the earth one, you get the earth, you have to discard the earth cards, and you land on the chalice, you have to discard the chalice cards, and when you land on the fire, you discard the fire card, and that is if you have already got the 4 cards. And same way for the lion or the statue of the wind. That's what it is. Okay, so those 4 figurines go on the side of the tiles. Next up, what you're going to do is you're going to divide the cards, the 3 types of cards. So first are these red cards. Okay, that is the treasure deck. The blue cards, which is the flood deck, and then these are the adventurer cards right here. You will separate them, shuffle them all, and then the island begins to sink. So when the island begins to sink, all you're going to do is you're going to shuffle the flood deck, and you're going to draw top 6 cards, and they will go in the discard pile. But right now we have the temple of the sun, so you will make it sink. That means you will flip it over on the blue and white side, and then place this card in the discard pile, and you will do to 5 more cards. This is the whispering garden, so we need to find the whispering garden, which is right here. And it is okay to start on a tile that is already sinking. This is Crimson Forest, which is right here. Next up we have is the Observatory, which is, if I can read fast, right here. Oh wow, all of them are together. Now we are on the 5th card, which is Tidal Palace. Tidal Palace is right here. And then the last card we are going to look at is the Copper Gate. So Copper Gate is right here. Okay, so that's what we are going to do, and we are going to face them all on the blue and white side. So these are the 6 cards that are 6 tiles that are sinking. Then you will take the adventure cards. The adventures appear on the island. You're going to give them a shuffle and give out 1 to each of the players. So I'm going to do 2-player game. So we got the green player card, which is the Explorer, and it's move and or shore up diagonally. So the Explorer's ability is that it can move diagonally, or it can shore up, means you can flip this card back on the face up side, means it's not sinking no more. It can do it diagonally. Okay, and then the other player that has gotten the blue one, which is the pilot, and their ability is once per turn fly to any tile on the island for 1 action. Okay, so they can fly to any island. So if they are here on Fool's Landing, they can all go all the way to Howling Garden. Okay, but that they can do only once per turn. So that is their ability. And then we'll take their color pawn and put them on the Fool's Landing, because that's where their beginning tile is. It is marked by that color. And then I am the green, and I'm going to be on the copper gate because that is the beginning of the green adventure tile. Okay, and then now we are going to take the treasure card and hand out the treasure cards. So we are going to shuffle these treasure cards, which I'm not being able to pick up because I have no nails. Okay, so we'll shuffle the treasure cards, and then we will give 2 cards to each player, and they will place them face up so everybody can see, since it's a cooperative game. So they've got the statue of wind and the crystal of fire, and then I got a statue of wind and ocean's chalice. So I've got those 2 cards. Okay, and then we're going to place this deck back where it's going, and it will also have a discard pile. Okay, lastly we are going to set the water level for the game. So if it's your first player, you can use novice, which will be on 2, but it'll still be easier because you'll be at 1 step up. And then if you have played, you can go to normal, and if you want to try it even harder, then you go to elite, and even more, then you go to legendary. So we are going to start at normal for now, since we have played this game a couple of times. So that's what we are going to do, and then that is the setup of the game. Now we will look at how to play the game. Alright, let's look at the order of play. On every turn, you're going to do 3 things in the following order. The first one is you can take up to 3 actions, and these actions I will describe in detail in a minute. You can take up to 3 actions. The second one is you will draw 2 cards from the treasure deck, and third you will do is you will draw the cards from the flood deck depending on the level of water level marked on the water meter. Right now we are at 2, so we will draw 2 flood cards, and once it moves up, it'll go up to, then we'll start drawing 3 flood cards. Here if it goes here, then it's 4, and here it goes here, it's 5, and so on and so forth. Alright, so now let's look at the 4 different types of actions that are mentioned here. So first action is move. To move, and you can move move to one tile on up, down, left or right, but not diagonally. No adventurer can move diagonally or anyway except the explorer. So since I am the explorer, I can move or shore up diagonally. So if I'm here, I can move to watchtower if I want to. Okay, so that is the first action. You can also move on the flooded tile, but you cannot move if there is no tile here. Say this tile was taken away, that means it has sunk completely, then you cannot move from here to here. You have to move down, up, or the other side. Okay, so that's what it is. That is the move action. Next, the second action is shore up. The shore up is you may use one of your actions to shore up any adjacent island tile. So say I'm here, then I can shore up this one right here because it's adjacent to my tile where I am at. So left, right, up and down. Okay, so to shore up a tile, simply flip it over so it's unflooded, side is facing up. Okay, so to shore this one, I'm just going to flip it over, and then it is unflooded. Okay, so that's shore up. The third action we have is give a treasure card. So you may give one treasure card using your one action to another player when both your pawns are on the same tile. Okay, so if the second player and me are both on the same tile, I can exchange my statue of wind with the other player, since they have already got one statue of wind card, and then they have to collect 4 to find the treasure of wind, the statue of wind. So they need 4 cards. So if I give them another one, they will have 2 cards, 2 treasure statue of wind cards. So then they can discard those cards and find the treasure. Okay, so that is the third action. Let's look at the fourth and the last action that you can take, that is capture a treasure. You may, for one action, capture a treasure by discarding 4 matching tiles, 4 matching treasure cards from your hand if your pawn is on either corresponding island tiles. So for example, if your pawn is on Temple of Sun and you have 4 earthstone treasure cards, then you can discard the 4 earthstone treasure cards and find the or capture the earthstone treasure. Similarly, if you go to the Whispering Garden or to the Howling Garden, then you can, and if you have the 4 Statue of Wind treasure cards, then you can discard those 4 cards and capture the Statue of Wind treasure. So those are the 4 actions that you can do, out of which you can do 3 actions per turn. And you can even do more than one action per turn. So if I wanted to move to this Cave of Shadows because I have 4 the Crystal of Fire cards, then I can just do like 1, 2. So those are my 2 actions, and for the third action I can discard 4 of the treasure cards, 4 of the Crystal of Fire treasure cards if I have them, and capture the Crystal of Fire treasure. Okay, so that is the game. That is the 4 actions you can do. Then after every turn, once we are done, we grab 2 treasure cards. Okay, so let's say I stayed here and I used my shore up and I did shore up. So I'm just trying to do a trial game. So I'll do shore up here, I'll do shore up here, and then I'll move this side. Okay, so those are my 3 actions for this turn. Then I'm going to draw 2 treasure cards. So I got one more of the Statue of Wind. Okay, and the last one I've got is the Crystal of Fire. So I'm just going to put it here. Okay, so you can see. So those are the 2 cards that I received. But let's look at some other cards that we can receive during our turn. So there is this one Water Rise card. So when you receive the Water Rise card, you don't keep it in your hand. You immediately follow the instructions on the card and then you put it in the discard pile. So the first thing you will do is move the water level up 1 tick. So you will take the water meter and move it up 1 tick right here. Okay. Then the next step we are going to do is we are going to shuffle the flood discard pile. So if we have the flood discard pile right here, okay, you're going to shuffle that and then place it on top of the flood draw pile. So we will shuffle this and place it back up. Discard this card to the treasure discard pile. So once you have done this too, you're going to discard this pile in the treasure discards pile. Okay. Then there is this helicopter lift. Move 1 or more pawns on the same tile to another tile. Lift your team off Fool's Landing for the win. So you can play this anytime and it does not count as an action. Discard to the treasure discard pile after use. So you can move 1 or more of your pawns from one of the tiles to another tile. And you can also lift your team of Fool's Landing for the win. So you will need this card for Fool's Land when you have captured all the treasures, and then you have to return back to the Fool's Landing, and then you will have to lift off from there. Sandbags. So when you have sandbags, shore up any one tile on the island, and this one also does not count as an action, and you can play it anytime. Okay, so those are the 2 specialty cards, and one is the Water Rise card, which increases the level of the water on the water meter. So we'll go back down here. Okay, so right now we got these 2 cards. So now I have 2 Statue of Wind cards. Next we will do is draw flood cards. In this turn we will do, after the treasure cards, we will draw 2 flood cards since our water meter level is at 2. So the first one we draw is Breaker's Bridge. So Breaker's Bridge is right here and we're going to flip it upside down. And then we are going to take another one. It's Dunes of Deception. So Dunes of Deception is right here and I will flip it over. Okay, so that ends my turn. Okay, so those are the 3 things that we have to do. First, we take the actions, up to 3 actions. Second, we draw from the treasure card. And then third, we draw from the flood deck. Now there is a hand limit of cards. So you can only have up to 5 cards in your hand. And say you have more than 5 cards because you drew from the treasure deck, or the other player exchanged card with you, you immediately decide which one you want to discard, and then keep and bring the card back down to 5 cards in your hand. Okay, so that is the hand limit. All right, let's look at the water rice card again. So when you draw a water rice card on your turn, you follow the instructions and you discard it, but you don't get a replacement of it. So that is one of the cards you draw during your turn. And the second thing is when if you draw two water rice cards in the same turn, then you only shuffle the flood deck once, but you will move the water meter up twice. Okay. The next thing we are going to look at is if ever the treasure deck card or the flood deck card runs out, you immediately shuffle the discard pile and then make the new pile to start the game. Now, for how to win the game, once you have collected all four of the treasures, everybody needs to come to Fool's Landing, and then one of the players will discard the helicopter lift card and you win the game. There are four possible ways to lose the game. The first way to lose the game is if both the temple cards or the caves or the gardens or the caves, hold on, or the caves and or the hold on and all the or the palace cards, if they all if one of them, say if both the palace card sinks and it's taken away from the game, that means you will not be able to collect the ocean chalice treasure. That means you lose the game. The second is if the fool's landing tile sinks. Okay, so if this one sinks, you lose the game because there is no way for you to lift off. The number third is if any player is on an island that sinks and there is no adjacent tile to swim to. And number four, if the water level reaches the skull and crossbones. Okay, those are the four different ways you can lose the game. Alright, so the final thoughts for this game are this game is fun. We definitely enjoy this game as a family because it gives us a lot of discussion, a lot of open discussion to do and to talk and have fun. It's like going on a camping trip or a very adventurous trip, but just by sitting on your dining table or on your games table. And it's so much fun. It's so much like you're always on the edge of which tile is going to sink and what's going to happen next. Are we going to win this game? Are we going to lose this game? And it's so much discussion. Plus my 7-year-old, he enjoys this game. He absolutely loves this game. He plays it like he means it, and he's always like giving us opinion on what we should do, what should be our next move, and how we should proceed. And he takes complete charge, and it makes him independent too. Plus, he is involved in this game as a team also, which teaches him to be a team player also. Sometimes he has to listen to us and do what we say, and sometimes we listen to him and do what he says, which makes this game fun for him and us too. Sometimes when you're playing competitive games, he has to keep everything to himself because he wants to win and he doesn't want to reveal his secrets. But in this game, he can keep the cards open, he can talk to us, he can tell us, he can suggest us, and he can ask for suggestions what he can do on his turn. So for us as a family, I think it's it's a good game because we all can talk. And I always look at any game from my son's point of view, because every game that we play with him, it's all about him. We are spending time with him. We are spending quality face-to-face time with him without screens, not looking at our phones, not paying attention to anything but just the game and him. And slowly, when my younger one gets older, we will definitely have him join. But right now, these board games are our special time with our 7-year-olds, and I think it is absolutely fun. And this game, it's more involving than just playing board games with him. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me in the comment below if you have played this game or any of the other forbidden games by Game Right. I would greatly appreciate it, and I would love to read your comments too. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it, and it would be a great help to me. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye.